Believe it or not, I will sometimes indulge in the realm of comedic romance. While I'm not as well versed in the medium, whenever I hear a good recommendation or want something to watch with a family member, I'll sit down and pretend I don't care while being emotionally invested in the story. Because I'm a lonely mid-20s YouTuber who doesn't get paid to write this shit.
Look, I'm looking at the guys, okay?
Recently, I can name ones I've watched off my finger. My Love Story, or Ori Monogatari, was really cute. Love Hard on Netflix was a lot of fun and kind of untraditional. And, okay, yeah, this one was bad, but I ended up liking it in the end. I started to read another recommendation that my friends and all of the internet were getting into called My Dress Up Darling. Yes, I know the anime was coming out, but I read the manga instead. And one night later, I was looking through other manga recommendations to indulge in reading and came across a random one that my friend Joey posted. And this started me down a binge path that I constantly revisit because I can't stop myself from enjoying it. And that manga is My Beautiful Boss Takizawa-san. Bijin Onna Joshi Takizawa-san, or My Beautiful Boss Takizawa-san, is a 4-panel manga series written and drawn by Yanbaru. Originally, it started as a fun Twitter comic back in 2016, and after gaining some popularity, it was given a one-shot manga, then became a monthly serialized production that became a full-blown manga series. The series has Koda Takeda, who starts working at a corporation under his supervisor, Kyoko Takizawa, whose chest sizes larger than usual, and hijinks ensue in the office from fun antics, funny misunderstandings, and eventual romance. It's a simple concept that won't surprise you, but it's still a pretty fun manga to binge. Each page of the comic is broken up into 4 panels, making it a very simple and enjoyable read, as well as allowing for great suspense or setting up a punchline. It didn't take too long for the comic to get its own stride. Looking back for this video, the one-shot and early parts of Takizawa contrast heavily with the modern look. When Takizawa is introduced, she has a more stern look, a tsundere personality, and is a bit more sophisticated. Also, as a side note, was Koda smoking here? Slowly but surely, minor characters get introduced that spice up the dynamic both Koda and Takizawa have between each other. I would argue Koda and Takizawa fulfill the role of our protagonists, because soon enough we get to see how Takizawa thinks and interacts with her world instead of just Koda. They both react differently to the Chief, who is an enigma of a character, and while he may seem like your average old pervert who works in your office, there's another interesting side to him that he'll show here and there. Shimizu is that perverted coworker who you sorta know, but also will end up getting Koda in trouble for saying the wrong things. I feel like we know at least one person in our lives who used to be that guy who didn't really get social norms. Miyamoto is an overprotective, paranoid girl who works in a different department than Takizawa and Koda. She's always on her guard whenever she confronts all the men in the office, and while she doesn't appear as often, it's funny when situations unfold when she does. The Takeda sisters are my favorite minor characters because his little sister Yuki fulfills that tsundere role, and both her and Koda get along pretty well, but also poke fun at each other. Yuki is an adult, but at the same time, a younger sibling who does get jealous and poke fun at her brother. And his big sister Kaori, well, she beat the shit out of her old boss for sexually harassing her in the workplace, works out daily, pokes fun at everyone, and is chillfully chaotic. Any moment with Kaori on the page glues me to it because of the funny expressions and stuff she'll say. I really like how Yanbaru draws cartoon facial expressions, or will draw subtle doodles and text bubbles to express how a character is delivering dialogue off panel. Outside the manga on Twitter, Yan likes to draw Takizawa in very sexy poses and outfits. I mean, when you have a character like that, why not? And it helps for promotion too. The physical copies of the manga have an undercover, sexy version of the cover, which I do find somewhat comedic. What I really like about Takizawa is just the simple slice of life and fun element of it. Most of the manga usually has them going through their daily lives in the office, getting into funny hijinks, Takizawa trying out new things by herself, or celebrating an upcoming holiday. It still has story arcs, and each one builds on the relationship between Kota and Takizawa. They progressively become closer as friends and eventual lovers. The more they hang out together, support each other, see each other's strengths and weaknesses, and get over their self-doubts is how they eventually come together. Both are dense in their feelings toward another, but when it finally happens, while nothing much changes, it feels ever so satisfying. Takizawa, despite her age, which is still unknown but I'm not gonna ask, is clumsy, gets flustered a lot, and is just cute, while Kota is the same, but more clueless and flustered whenever Takizawa makes a move on him. Of course, as the manga progresses, Takizawa gets more flirty with him, but when he follows suit, she gets more flustered as well. Their dynamic carries the manga, and you just want to laugh with them and see them bond together. By the time of making this video, currently 5 volumes are out, with Yan continuing to make new chapters monthly. The first few volumes have both Kota and Takizawa learning more about each other and bonding with some tension thrown in, and in 4 and 5 is where that tension arises, and by the end of it, they become lovers. I mean, I know this is spoilers, but this is a romantic comedy, of course this was gonna happen. At least it doesn't take 227 chapters and a multitude of cuck backlash for this to happen. Future chapters, I assume, will focus on them as lovers, and I can't wait to see what situations they'll be put in next now that they are together. I usually read Takizawa on Mangadex because only fan translations exist, and it hasn't been picked up officially in America because I don't know. I assume some companies think it wouldn't be as popular, but with the popularity of My Dress Up Darling, there's a clear market for this genre of manga. I imported the manga volumes from Japan to show my support for the series, and have it physically. Yanbaru still comes out with chapters monthly, but despite what my mom thinks when she received the Sakura Wars fanzine, I don't know Japanese, so I have to wait. The manga usually takes place at the time each chapter was made, so it goes on a yearly basis. Usually when a new volume comes out, Yanbaru writes a bonus chapter of the characters reading the manga, and reflecting on the events of the last issue and how it relates to their world. I recommend following Yanbaru's Twitter for updates as well, as they draw a lot of cool art too, like different video game characters. You know, I asked myself while writing this, why did I want to make a video on a simple manga like this, and what does it mean to anyone that I liked it? Shouldn't I just have tweeted about it? Well, reading this manga just gets me in a very happy mood. That's why. And I really wanted to share it with everyone, and possibly get the series officially translated and in English stores. It's not deep or anything, just simple filling comfort food that makes me happy. I just want to see what silly situations these characters will be in next and where their relationship goes. There's a lot of fun adventures to look forward to with these two, and I'll be around to keep on reading. Anyways, go read it, and thanks for watching.